tell something special. They will uncover their intimate journey to investors. As funny as that sounds, but I think it's going to be a nice story. You're going to be motivated. So yeah, I hope you hear as well. I know that my friend Heidi, who will like hear later, was joking about breaking link, and she didn't know what I'm going through with the technique right now. Thank you, Heidi, for making my life 1 year lesser. So yeah, if you will have any question, you can post it through the chat. Then we will ask Bruno and Nika. So enjoy, Bruno and Nika. Go. And I see you later.
Hello, everyone. Are you starting? Am I starting? So it's me. So hi, first of all, this is Bruna. I'm Nika. We are both private and professional partners. And about 1.5 years ago, we started our journey. First of all, today what we are going to present is going to be full of very intimate and honest moments that we actually never spoke about before. So it's not going to be your typical presentation, but more of a unfolding the story behind the scenes and all the, moments you don't want other people to know, but you went through them. So at some point you might as well share them so that everyone else can see, it's not just success that happens overnight. And even though raising an investment is a big moment, there was a lot of work put into it. So yeah. First of all, what we are going to start with is the story of how we actually met. So how it all started about 1.5 years ago, Bruna and I were in a relationship for about a month, and then we started our entrepreneurial journey. So basically, we're a statistical mistake because now when we think about it, it was quite a foolish thing to do. But on the other hand, it was really like a deep dive into what we are doing. And when we first started, we really realized that we want to be in the world of well-being and we want to contribute to building a different world. So Bruna, would you like to tell the story of how we first went to our investor and how much of a...
Okay, so we decided to found a company and to change the world. And that was a nice decision that all the startups have. And we thought that we are on top of the world. So we were doing a lot of market research that Nika will share a bit later. And among them, it was one trip. In 20 days, we had 10 flights. So we were in London, in Helsinki on Biohacker Summit, in Vilnius meeting Robin Sharma, in Malmo on one organic food fair, and then we met our investor. So we came after 20 days completely burned out there because we were just traveling and it was really stressful and exhausting, and we had our plan. We went there to raise money and we thought that we are ready. So we presented our idea, only idea there then, and I made a chart that projected our revenue in first year, and it wasn't backed by any data. It was just my gut feeling. So our investor, he was in investment banking 30 years ago, and when he saw that, he thought that we are crazy. And like, what is that? How is that backed? He asked. So he said, oh no, that's just gut feeling. We are projecting that. And then the journey started. The journey of 18 months of negotiating, going through real charts and really digging deep. But we will talk about that. Today, this morning, for the first time, we looked at that chart again. We already forgotten it. So 1.5 years later, and what we saw that actually it was accurate to 10% plus minus. It depends on the month, and that annual income, it was almost in a couple of percent. So what we asked ourselves is, was that a self-fulfilling prophecy, or did we just have luck?
Yes, so now I think it's a great moment to actually share this first presentation and market research that we did. Željko, do I go? I go here now. So just to let you know, no one ever looked at this
Except our investor back then.
except for our investor back then. And this is what it looked like. So
Basically, more or less, that's it. So, as you can see, it's even not an Excel. It's just numbers and not nice designed. So we came with this and we said, okay, we need 200,000 euros and we are giving 15% of nothing.
and yeah, this is how it all started. And we were when we actually started developing the concept, we started doing our market research, which again looks like a lot of really not well designed stuff. But what we did in a couple of months was plenty of brand sprints with 20-year plans where we were discussing what it is that we want to do. And already in the very beginning, it was all about well-being. It was about having a franchise of well-being resorts, etc. And we were very certain about our vision. However, we did not have clear steps yet. So where we went later was into plenty of digging deep into specific functional food products, because we realized, okay, if we want to go into the world of well-being, the first thing we need to build is something that people will understand, something that is very real, that is, that someone can touch, that someone can eat, and etc. And for example, this is what it looked like when we were researching coffee.
Yeah, so we went to Whole Foods in London. We spent there 4 or 5 hours. We actually split it. And then we spent £300 there on different things. And we had a couple of hundreds of photos of declarations and labels. And when somebody asked us, did we do market research? We actually never had all those numbers, like fancy numbers, total addressable market and everything else that people ask for in pitch, because we were so deep into this that we over researched the market. So maybe you can show the chart of ingredients.
Yes, here it is.
So these are functional ingredients that competitors use. So we are zooming in: L-tyrosine, lion manes, moringa, ginkgo. So there are a couple of hundreds of them here. And basically for all of them, we have a couple of suppliers and a couple of offers. And we know, are they soluble in cold water, warm water, with what you can mix them, and are they allowed in Europe or in Croatia, and so on.
Yes, and we are still not done. And we were going into how many milligrams each of them was putting inside, how can we actually buy those compounds, how can we try it out, how can we taste it, etc. And we realized there was really a gap between functional, healthy, and actually yummy food. Because what people were usually considering healthy food was something, that you don't really want to eat. But when we started CIDRANI, first thing we were looking for, okay, it needs to have an amazing function, but at the same time, it needs to taste great. But also when we were just starting CIDRANI, this is a really important point, is that there were a lot of iterations that no one ever saw behind the scenes. So for example, now when you see our apple cider vinegar, do we have it here?
No, but
No.
you can find it online.
You can find it online. Yes. So what I want to show you now is the progression between the very first time when we were imagining it and the way it actually looks now.
And what is important is that people asked us, oh, who did the design? But design is always a consequence of 15, 20 or 50 iterations, and just not being happy with something that is not extraordinary and that is not world class. And we will show you now, we had a couple of solid designs,
but this was the very first one.
so
That's it.
it's not nice. If we went out with this one, we wouldn't sell anything.
What happened next was this.
Yeah, with this we already started stretching somewhere. If you ask me now, it's overpopulated. It has too many things on it, and it wouldn't go well.
This was actually one we were really considering.
Yeah, we like
with
the
this
hedgehog.
cute hedgehog, but it never
Yeah.
lived up. Then from these, we decided on this one.
It was almost done. It should already go to print.
Everything was ready. We had plenty of different versions, etc. This is what we want. This is what we like, etc. We had everything completely ready, and then we pivoted.
Yes, we said, no, stop everything. This is not perfect. Something is missing here. We said we must have hands.
And this is the result. This was the very first design of CIDRANI that we said, yes, this is it. But the thing is, it's not about the design, it's about the process. It's about the first step, second step, third step, fourth step. And actually, the first design was done in October. The one you're seeing right now was ready in January. So it took us 3 months to figure out one label for one product, for one market, for the very beginning.
Yeah, but here everything is that CIDRANI presents. So it's sharing, it's connecting vision and daily steps, how to achieve it. It has elegance, but it also has a warm touch. And it has Scandinavian elegancy, but it also has our Mediterranean warmth.
So yeah, basically, when we came up to this label, to this design and everything, CIDRANI was ready to launch and so on, we thought, we had it all. Finally, we have the magical recipe. We found the perfect product, everything regarding fermentation, all the trends are exploding. This is it, this is the market, etc. Let's do it. That was January. We were living in Amsterdam. We were a part of a co-working place there. Every day we were going there and so on. And that was already, let's say, 3 months after the first time we met our investor. And in January, then he called us to meet up with him in Germany to go through a series of workshops with him and his consultant. And what happened there completely blew us out of our shoes, basically.
Yes, so we thought, okay, November, it wasn't successful. We came with really ugly chart. And of course, it's not the moment. But in January, we are going to raise the investment. We went there for 3 days. We were for 12 hours per day working. And what happened is that we got homework. We didn't raise any investment. We didn't get any clear next steps. We didn't even get feedback. We got a bunch of homework. We got homework that we need to do business plan for 50 countries, for 50 products in all the European countries with all the different VATs, distributive discounts, and entry prices for all the ingredients inside, and etc.
And of course, we had no idea how to do it.
No, we didn't know how to use Excel properly. So we were depressed and anxious.
Yeah, and we were thinking like, oh my God, is this really what we want to do? Because you're faced with something where you don't even know where to start. It's like, okay, now we need to gain some knowledge we never had, and at the time we didn't have such a wonderful place as we have today, a Bird, where you can talk with all the mentors, etc., where basically whatever advice you need, someone is here that you can call. No, at that point we were somewhat alone at the beginning of our journey. And also at the same time, COVID was just starting. We used the opportunity to go to Biofach, organic, the biggest fair of organic food in the world, I believe. And that was actually the last fair we ever went to. So basically, when we were just starting our journey, the world was entirely different. The world of food, as we know it, was entirely different. It was we were there at the fair, everyone was still talking normally, shaking hands, laughing, hugging, etc. And basically in one place you could find everything, distributors, suppliers, all kinds of advice, different products you can try out, all the latest market trends and so on. And we thought, okay, we just go to several of such fairs per year. We're going to know everything. We're going to sell everything because you're going to find out, you're going to meet someone and they want to sell your products in their retail chain, etc. However, COVID happened.
Yeah, and no fairs. So how to sell products.
Yes.
And then we had our pitch in front of investor 3 months after the workshop in Germany, scheduled on 18th of March. And for startup that hasn't started yet, 3 months is like a lifetime, maybe a couple of lifetimes. So we were really impatient and we came there well prepared. But 18th of March, if you remember it last year, it was when COVID exploded, when first lockdown ever happened. And of course, our investor listened to us, but he wasn't ready to make any decision. So we were cut off the world on the island Rab, and without knowing what will happen with the world. And we decided to work. While people were making cakes and bread, we were working like maniacs. We were starting our day at 5 a.m. in the morning. We were running, meditating, learning, making our coffee, reading our affirmations out loud, and start working.
I would say this was the real moment when our entrepreneurial journey actually started, because that was the moment when we realized, okay, this is it. There's nothing outside. There's only something that we can actually create. And COVID, on one hand, yes, it stopped the world as we knew it, but on the other hand, it made people extremely conscious about their health. So there was a huge opportunity for us, and we decided to take it. So now is one moment which is really personal for me. I'm going to read out my affirmations. This part is going to be in Croatian. So what we were doing every single morning, we had a set of sentences that we were reading out loud.
Always standing.
Always standing and
listening to each other.
And we would cheer on each other. Oh yes, you said this really correctly. So yeah, it went like this. Svaki dan se povezujem sa svojim potencijalom I transmutiram ga u rezultate u materijalnom svijetu. Svaki dan učim, razvijam se I uzimam vremena za sebe. Svaki dan se postavljam u ulogu mentora I dijelim svoje znanje s drugima. Svaki dan povezujem točkice koje dosad nisu bile povezane I vidim što drugi ne vide. Svaki dan ustajem u 5 I odvajam vrijeme za kreativnu jutarnju rutinu koja mi daje polet. Svaki dan svoje vrijeme investiram I u rast drugih. Svaki dan treniram I svoje tijelo I svoj um kako bih uvijek bila fleksibilna I snažna. Sretna sam I zahvalna što imam priliku kreirati novu stvarnost za Stelu kroz iznimne proizvode. Posvećujem se svakom proizvodu I cijelom procesu njegova nastajanja I bivanja prema načelu granularnosti. Svaki dan sat vremena odvajam za organizaciju tima I zadataka. Vodim tim s ljubavlju I afirmativnim porukama I svakodnevno ih mentoriram. Odgovorna sam za rezultate I duh tima. U svemu što radim stavljam high spirit kao prioritet za tim. Ostavljam buffer prostor u planiranju rasporeda osobnog I za tim. Sve u Nixonu I CIDRANiju je posloženo, sve teče glatko I radimo s entuzijazmom I gorljivom željom za napretkom. Bruno I ja prenosimo viziju, ideje I high spirit na ostale članove tima. Svakodnevno vizualiziram ciljeve I kako ih zajednički postižemo I gradimo timski duh. Imamo skladan I agilan tim I neodoljiv branding razrađen u detalje koje nikoga ne ostavlja ravnodušnim. Enough? There's 2 more pages.
Yeah. Okay. So every morning and every evening. Then we first, when we came to our investor, we didn't have skin in the game. That means that we still had option B. I had my company, my business from before that was making some money. Nika had shares of one company that were paying dividends annually.
Which I inherited.
Yeah, and it was quite a good dividend. And in the meantime, we started selling shares, selling, and just putting money in. And it started to feel differently. And our investors, he's from real estate industry. He has all the time in this world. He was just observing. He was just waiting and being patient. Are we going to stop? Because that would be normal, because we didn't have a clue what we are doing. Or are we going to continue against all the odds?
So we persisted.
Yeah, we persisted, and then first lockdown started going down, and we invited our investor to Istria. He's always going somewhere with his family, and we said, maybe you want to come to Croatia. And then we thought, okay, let's negotiate our investment finally after 8 months of negotiating, after one COVID in the meantime, and so on. They came there. We had a really nice 5 or 7 days together, spending time in Istria. And then we made the presentation, and he found the flaw in our charts. We had really, really fancy charts. Then Nika found a mentor that was financial director in huge companies. But we had one flaw. And then he said, okay, let's meet again in September. Then we launched first products, and we were making approximately 1,500 euros per month. So that's nothing. So that didn't cover anything. So we started panicking because we knew how much money we still have, and we knew that we won't last until September. So we went back to Amsterdam, and I remember we were sitting in Wandel Park, and I said, Nika, do you understand that we cannot do this? Like, we won't be able to pay salaries.
And I was crying.
And Nika was crying. And then back then we already invested more than million kunas, 150,000 euros of our own money. But of course, things always take 10 times more time and money than you expected at the beginning. So skin was in the game. We had first results, we had first products, we had website, we had some tracking. We were there, but we couldn't do anything. We thought that we are done. We were facing the wall. And then we decided to grab a phone from Amsterdam and call small shops. So
start calling them like maniacs.
Like maniacs. That means 8 to 10 hours per day calling shops. Hey, hello, we are CIDRANI. I never heard about CIDRANI. Okay, I know, but we are new and we have a vinegar.
No one heard about us.
Yes. And that month we did approximately 15,000 euros in sales, and we breached the gap. And we burned out completely. And Amsterdam during the summer is really beautiful. You have all the parks and nice grass. We haven't seen anything of it. We were just in the apartment.
Working.
Yes, we had a mouse in apartment, and we were there spending days with the mouse, and not going on our
making
bikes.
Specialty coffee in the morning.
Yeah, making our coffee. Still waking up
still working.
5 a.m. Still reading the affirmations. Still learning new things every morning. Still,
and basically, this is the amount of notebooks of our notes throughout the year.
But I think that they're not all. We just found this morning these, but approximately it's 50%. So we are writing things. We are writing what we are grateful on, how we can do things better, and we are journaling about it. We are making plans, and yeah. Then a new wave of COVID started, and we came back to Croatia. What happened is that we entered this to prevent burnout, to enhance the world, to facilitate conditions where people can really live long, creative, happy, where disease is only a word in history lexicons. And then we burned out like
we
match.
Found ourselves really burnt out in a sense that through this whole story, we were always each other's biggest support. You know, whenever something went down or someone was feeling down, we were telling each other, it's okay, we can push through it, we're in this together, etc. But there was a point when, you know, there was
like point of no return. We really didn't feel well. We were still doing 15,000 euros per month. We were break even. Everything was going pretty well, but we didn't feel well. We weren't motivated. We were thinking about giving up. But we were in this together, and we put everything we have in this. And every time one of us fell, other said, "Come on, let's go through this, and let's beat the world." And then we had our first DM order. It was huge milestone, 20,000 euros order, and so on. But
After 4 months of talking and negotiating
and burning out, and it was in November. And in order to deliver that first order, we needed cash flow. We just didn't have the cash flow to give it and wait for 45 days. And we were on the edge. And we called the investor, said, "Okay, are we going or not?" He said, "Okay, we can go. That's it. We have a deal. I just need to check it with my lawyer." But he was busy and he didn't know how we feel and how urgent is that. 1 month later, I sent an email and I said, "We are burned out. We cannot sleep. We are really not happy. And are we going at this or not?" Next day, he called us and he said, "How urgent is that? How much money is urgent?" We said 30,000 euros. He said, "Okay, I will transfer it tomorrow to your Revolut account." In that moment, we found the difference between predator and investor. That is actually the headline of this lecture. And he was squeezing us. He was torturing us. He was not nice to us. But
we had to learn a lot.
A lot, and we did learn a lot. And we went out of comfort zone. We were living out of comfort zone for months. But actually, when we really needed help and hand, he was there for us.
Yeah, and through this whole process, the thing is, with your investor or whoever you want to partner with, in terms of projects, the way we see it, this is just a part of our mission. This is our life mission. This is not just, okay, we're gonna build this, we're gonna, sell something, then we're gonna exit, etc. No, we are in this for life. And this partnership that we are building, it's kind of like getting married. It's not like this is just gonna be someone who's gonna enter my company, I'm gonna get some money, and we're gonna build it further, etc. No, it's someone who literally becomes a part of your family. So this is how I see actually the future of the way how people will collaborate, that you collaborate with people who resonate with you, people that you can actually trust. And the thing is, building trust takes time. It's a process. It's not, okay, we meet one day, we present an idea, and, this is a great idea, let's work on it. No, it's something that takes, as Bruno said it, skin in the game, that we show that we did something, that we go beyond ourselves and learn how to become better versions of ourselves. How can we expect more of ourselves? How do we get there? What do I need to, in the process, you need to let go of some older parts of yourself that are actually limiting you, because while you're still talking about your idea, you're not working on it. So it was a moment that pushed us.
Yes, and we were eager to achieve our goal, and this is something that we are giving our life to. Our health, our time, we could do anything in this life. This life has so many opportunities. So we realized that nobody will invest and give money if you are not 100% in. But if you are 100% in, then there are no compromises. Then you cannot negotiate. What our investor taught us before our negotiation, he said when he was selling his first real estate, that people asked him, "Can it go a bit lower? Can we negotiate?" He said, "Yes, but only upwards." And we remember that. So when we started negotiation, he offered us a bit less money for a bit more shares. We were desperate. We didn't have one kuna in our pocket. And we were still talking about relatively big money for Croatia. But then we said, okay, what can we do? We must say yes or we are done. And then we slept over it. And we said, no, if we need to be done, if we need to bankrupt and start everything again, we will. So we remembered, never negotiate if you're 100% in. Or you can negotiate, but only in that direction. And we said, sorry, we really appreciate you, but we cannot negotiate. With that, we showed how much we trust in this and how much we believe and how much we are not ready to take any compromise.
And at the end of the day, whatever idea, dream, project you're pursuing, it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough if it's the real thing, you know, because it demands of you to build a certain level of discipline. Because there will be moments when you will feel extremely alone. There will be moments where you'll feel anxious, when you will feel like you came up to a wall. We had plenty of walls in this whole situation. And I think one thing that is our superpower that we go through it together. We were each other's support. And I think it's really important for anyone who's founding a startup. Okay, Bruna and I are also personal partners, so we spent 24 hours together, which is not healthy at times. But you need to choose your partners wisely in terms of co-founders, people who follow the same dream, who follow the same passion, because they will be the ones listening to you when it's hard. They will be the only ones who will be there and who will understand the situation. And the thing is, when you're building relationships with your first investor, especially if it's a private investor, usually it's someone either from your friends or family pool. So it's really important that you build this relationship of open communication with them as well.
Yes, so we look our investor and all the future investors as partners, as team members, as friends, as a family in a way, and as someone that we can grow with. We all know that we are average of 5 people that we are spending most time with, but what Robin Sharma says, that goes 3 layers deep. So each one of 5 people have their own 5 people, and each one of them the same. So the question is where we are spending our time, where we are giving our energy, our effort, and if we want to grow and if we want to achieve something extraordinary, we just need to kill the old selves.
Yeah, it's a transformation, not just of your business, it's a transformation of you. You need to, especially in the startup world, you need to constantly learn. You need to constantly, be in front of someone. If you're not in front of someone, if things seem like everything's perfectly calm and clear, then you're not going fast enough. The only competitive advantage that you really have is being agile, understanding what are the different things happening on the market, how you can pivot at the right time, etc. And what I think is really beneficial, for example, in the American culture, is that they accept failure as a part of the process. Especially in Croatia, I was the best student of all schools I've ever been to. No one really accepts failure. They always expect you to perform extremely well. So understanding on a deep level that mistakes and failures are a part of your future success is the ultimate thing that you need to go through on your future path.
And fast forward to March this year. So investment is arranged. Everything is going well, but we are not happy again. So we are people. It's not in our nature to be happy. And then we took our notebook and said, okay, let's see what is bothering us. What is our massive transformative purpose? And we did a workshop, 2 of us. What do we want to do and what are we doing? It was a long workshop and we realized we are doing too much of operative work and we are not pursuing the big vision because every day there is something that one needs to do. So we took a big paper, put 90-day plan on it, and wrote a couple of notes. In 90 days, we want to be in world-class incubator. We don't want to be in CIDRANI operatively anymore. We want to focus on longevity, and we want to have a team of high performers. 7 days later, we were accepted in Bird. And now we are on the edge of one deal that will allow us not to be in CIDRANI operatively anymore. we can now hire financially, but also with the knowledge that we are getting from mentors here, team of high performers, and we are going in that direction. At the moment, we are looking for 2 new persons, and if we didn't set those goals, those clear goals, the question is, would we be here?
So actually, now the same thing happened as in the very beginning. When we were first presenting our idea and presentation, etc., we set some clear goals, and now when we looked back at it a year later, we achieved them. So the thing is, in order to actually achieve them, first you need to set them. So when we were doing this workshop, it was also a little bit scary, because a part of that workshop was were questions like, what did you want to do when you were a little kid? What was that thing that brought spark to your eyes? What is that thing that you actually super enjoy doing? So when you start thinking about those questions, it's really scary, because all your life, for some reason, there was that dream that you decided not to pursue. And why did you decide not to pursue it? Because it was somehow more comfortable to just accept the system as it is, to go to school, to go to university, get some grades, degree, etc., and then just get employed in whatever corporation, get financially stable, move out, etc. And that's, regular way life works. And usually, well, at least in our case, it didn't make us happy.
Yes, and what we have now, after everything that we said, we had a relationship with investor that is not investor startup relationship. It is a shared vision. It is mentorship, friendship, huge mutual respect, and there are a lot of things in front of us together. If we got our yes on first proposal, this wouldn't happen. So this is our story. Long story short, and if you have any questions, we are here. We are open to answer it, because we are talking already for 40 minutes. So
I will come into but let's see how. Okay, we are here. So maybe there's going to be some question here. Brilliant story, amazing. So it's your friend or somebody?
Yes,
of course.
Turner is our potential partner for UK market. We're close to closing the deal for exporting to UK market. And what is interesting is that with Andrew Turner, we had a lot of talks while we were on RAB 1 year ago, and he was persistent and we were persistent, and things take time. So we are now on the very edge of making it happen, but still, it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and one really important thing in all of this is that you really need to focus, because all your time and energy and everything, it can be really spent in redesigning yourself, but you need to know what you want to focus on.
So yeah, what's Andrew's also? What markets? What markets are you in today? So Andrew is interested to know if UK is going to be the first. No, Croatia, Croatia first.
We exported to Netherlands, and we had repeated orders for Netherlands, also to Bulgaria with our kombucha new product, to Canada and Sri Lanka now. And
Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andrew. Sri Lanka is
and where else? In Latvia. Yeah.
And actually, starting from this week, this is the latest release.
And this is exclusive news.
Exclusive news. We are now in the German market in Berlin at the latest store.
It's the latest. It's really cool store, and that is also allowing us to be on a bit less than 100 billboards all over Berlin city center with our kombucha.
Oh, Andrew says he needs the stock in UK and Ireland.
Yeah.
As soon as we're done with this, we'll get on it, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. Is there any question? We have some guys, from World Incubators teams who are here. Any question from you guys down there? No, they are all impressed. Someone are crying. In the eyes.
What are your future plans for this year?
For this year?
So future plans for this year, I don't know if you heard Petar, but future plans for this year.
Okay. Should I?
Mhm.
Okay. So we are planning to raise additional investment for CIDRANI and form a CIDRANI lab that is going to be a bank of bacteria, a library of essences, world's first, and to make a new line, CIDRANI Beauty, of natural cosmetics. And we are going to be one of the most innovative labs in the world. And we are preparing our personalized nutrition platform for beverages. In 3 months, we are going to have MVP. In 4 to 5 months, it will be backed by products, and we will have already tracking from the market. In parallel, we started negotiating a new round of investment for longevity, and we are planning to finish it in January. And yeah, by the end of the year, we are going to stay here in Berg.
Yeah, just some, few things.
Yeah.
The most innovative lab in the world.
Oh, yeah. And also in June, CIDRANI Kombucha will be presented and promoted at the Big Meet in Stockholm. It's one of the biggest food innovation fairs in the world, but really focusing on food tech, because Stockholm decided they will be the global food tech innovation lab for, the most innovative ever in the world. And this big meet is usually visited by around 350,000 visitors. So we are expecting to further our international network through this. And actually, this R&D lab that we want to do, it's really something that needs to be on a global scale as well.
Nice. So first, I wrote some post-it with the questions during their talk. First, thanks for the world-class incubator that you wanted to join. If you didn't know, we are.
No, but honestly, I need to take this opportunity to say this. So I'm a big nerd. I was always the one doing all the homeworks, and everyone was copying from me, and always being best of class, etc. I've never been in a place like this before. This really feels like being in the best university in the world, and suddenly you're working on your own case. You're not learning about, some biology over there, doing some applied maths over there. No, you're actually here developing something that is your life mission. And basically, whatever question you have, there's someone you can call, someone you can ask to help you with real proper advice that you can implement straight away. So it's unique. It's nothing I've ever experienced before.
It's like that X-Men school for mutants. So really, it feels like that. I was looking for that my whole life. Yeah.
We paid them only 10,000 euros to say that. At the end, now. Thank you. So how not to give up? How to be persistent? Besides, you had each other. But you were on the point where most of people or teams would break up and say, okay, this is not right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so first thing is that if we expect comfort, if we expect that we are going to feel well, that we are going to be happy, then don't go to this journey. What we discovered is that we need to really embrace suffering, really embrace pain. Like in training, you are suffering, but still next day you're going and you will do your training again. So it's the same with this. If it's not painful for you, you're not going forward, because what is painful there? You are losing part of your identity. You come to your top and you cannot go up anymore. And doing it is actually hard. So it's just embracing discomfort as a way of living. And that's it.
But how to embrace it? Do you need to take notebook and write the sentences and repeat every day? Because
one small habit.
People decided to quit the gym.
Okay, more concrete.
And it's not about spending their life savings.
Okay, so one habit leads to another one. One small habit leads to another one. So if you can be disciplined with the food that you are taking, you can also be disciplined in life and in business. If you can wake up every morning, for example, in 5 and go out running, no matter how cold it is or how windy or how warm your bed is, you still go there. You are building the muscle of willpower. And If you're going in 3 degrees lake and swimming for 3 or 5 minutes, you don't feel good. You don't want to do that. But that weak part of yourself is saying, let's go out. Let's go in our warm house and be lazy couch potatoes. But if you can say no there, then you're going to be able to say no everywhere.
You were searching for some sentences.
Yeah, no, I was searching for something else. Actually, whenever we have a breakthrough, I would say, you know, a really specific, painful point that we went through, we had what we call a drawing session. So what we do there, I'll look for one example. So we take one page, and on one side, we draw ourselves in this moment. So we put down all the frustrations, and you put them down in little notes. You know, you don't
Frustrations.
everything
That's happening now.
everything
Drawing.
that's happening. You know, it just you know, because you're in a painful moment, you're not feeling happy. So you put everything down, and you put like, okay, where do I want to be in 1 year? And every single time we went through this process. So, okay, I want to be there in a year. And then the question is, how do I get there in a year? Okay, so this is how I want to be like in a year. Okay, so how do I translate that to 6 months? How do I translate my 6 months to 90 days? How do I translate my 90 days to 30 days? And then the thing that you're doing, you're deconstructing your future self. And basically you go down to, okay, what can I do in 1 day and what can I do now? And you decide on small steps. So as Bruno said, it's habit installation. It's you don't go and like, okay, this is me in a year and that's who I'm gonna be tomorrow. You say, this is one thing that I can do right now that will directly impact me as a person. And then if I continue doing this for 90 days, then I can add on something else because already there's a movement, a shift that's happening, not just in my body. For example, if I decide to drink, I don't know, apple cider vinegar in the morning, but it's actually, you know, you're putting in good bacteria in your gut, etc. And this actually influences your mood. It doesn't have to be that, but it can be, okay, I'm gonna meditate 5 minutes, but I see that it's working, so I'm gonna meditate 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna find 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna find half an hour to work out. And if I want to go and work out, I'm gonna ask my friend to join me, because if I go alone, it's gonna be hard. So whatever you decide to do, it needs to be something small, something that you can easily add into your daily routine. And if possible, find a peer group. So a group of people who is already doing it to keep you accountable. Because if you don't have someone keeping you accountable, I had Bruno yelling at me so many times. If I wanted to, for example, stay in bed at 5 a.m., you know, no, we have to get up, because it's not about getting up at 5 a.m. It's about the principle of installing this habit. Because if we stop today with this, then I'm gonna respect myself less. And if I respect myself less, then everything else falls.
And there is also one more thing. You can never do anything with your present self. But if you have your future self in front of you, then you can actually go from that vision and like download that power that you still don't have, but you need to have clear vision of yourself. And that's what we are doing with all the drawings and visualizing, and just being in contact with our future self and getting the power from there.
Yeah, so basically you need to get yourself in a bed with a crazy person who's going to yell at you every morning at 5 o'clock.
Yes, don't choose a normal partner. No, not someone who's gonna support eating pizza.
One thing crossed my mind. How old are you? No else.
I'm 32.
32.
Yeah.
I'm 28.
28. Yeah, you look younger, baby. That's because of drinking. This
Apple cider vinegar.
morning. I started drinking, so next time you see me, I'm probably going to be 34. Okay. And what stores did you call?
Okay,
during?
wait just a second. I want to
Okay,
show
these
this. You
drawings.
know, here we have drawings, plenty of drawings.
So these
you
are
cannot
your
see too
frustrations.
Here it was more about visualizing myself in a year.
Ah,
so-
okay.
Frustrations are here and there.
Yeah, so it's one part. This is the second
So,
part.
yeah.
So you know, it's
Just draw.
you know, for someone who this doesn't mean a lot to anyone else, but it means a lot to me.
Mhm.
So it's about
Picasso did the same. The same cubism style, future self. Yeah, nice. So somebody else question.
So we asked about the stores that we called.
No, is there any special reason why you removed the word cider from your product name in English?
Oh, it was in the, I think he's asking because what we were showing were old labels. It was in the real version that was printed, it was apple cider vinegar. So that's it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. What stores did you call in Amsterdam? Croatian stores?
No, we
German
call the stores in
Amsterdam?
Croatia. We call the Croatian stores.
Croatian
So-
stores from Amsterdam to sell.
Yes.
Yeah. Why didn't
While
you
we
call
were away, we were not in
the
Croatia.
Netherlands stores? Or German stores?
Because we had some PR here in Croatia, and then the war started, and it was easier for us. And when you say that you're a Croatian startup, you sound already you're close to them. But if you say in the Netherlands that you're a Croatian startup, they close the door. So we started to call all the stores, literally all of them. I was finding them on Facebook. You know, when you like one page, then it offers all the others, and then just. And then you need to use some tricks if they don't want to give you number of some decision making person. Then you call the store and you say that you lost that number and can they give it to you? And then in that way we enter the government store. So.
Yeah, and I think a really important part was that it was the first time we were calling stores. So we figured it's better that we enter Croatian stores. So just in case you make a mistake, you know, it's on the Croatian market, because once you enter Dutch market, you know, you need to keep a certain level of standards.
It's a pilot.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. How important is luck?
we
No,
we wouldn't be here with a lot of luck. We had like things were happening like DM order and things like that were just happening in the right moment, not the right, the last moment. We had 20.
yeah, because this is not the first time I hear, you know, in the last moment you were about to leave everything and somebody jump in like from.
No,
So
I
it's-
think it's about engineering, because everything that we are saying, oh, it happened in the last moment, but actually we were working on it for months before. So yeah, it's luck in a sense that it happened at that exact point of time. But I think it happened at that point of time because we were sort of generating the need for it at the same time. I don't know if you understand, but
Yeah,
kind
okay,
of-
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
It's my friend from Split. He said that you need to provoke luck.
Yeah.
Every time I
Yeah.
sent him, you lucky bastard, you know, trebaš isprovocirati sreću in Croatia.
Yeah, because it's there's always something happening in the background. It's not like it just happened all of a sudden. There were always some leads.
You cannot
behind-
sit and wait for luck. to come.
No.
Because we didn't have luck like that, just something just happened. We had luck in those small things, and sometimes if it would happen 2 weeks later, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have the company. But it could also happen 1 month before, so we wouldn't have the stress. So was it luck
Or it wasn't luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is there any commenter? And what about Starta Hrvatska? Who is that?
Dražen.
Dražen Orešćanin, I don't know who is.
Who's that guy?
so the results of finalists of new season are going to be known by the end of the month.
Just for the guys who don't know, Starta Hrvatska is Interspar, Spar, Croatia.
Yeah, it's a TV show from Nova TV and Spar, and we are not allowed to say
Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Dražen. You need to ask privately if you find word. I don't know if you know word. Okay. Nice comparison on relationship with investors like marriage, you know. You even write a prenup agreement, you know. How to get in a marriage with VC? Okay, it's understandable when you get in a relationship with angel investors. So he's from Germany, you talk with him, you invite him and his family to Istria, you ate nice food and drink nice wine, so you're making a relationship, but there is a VC and you're trying to raise 1 million. And you know, these are the guys who have the money and they are in the fund and they just are fund managers. Say, okay, they probably don't care about you, they care about their investment. So
what I would say is that all the investors, everyone who is investing money, care only about the team and people and vision, and not about the investment itself, the product, the company, because a strong team can do anything, can change, can pivot, can find solution on any problem on this world. And weak team would destroy the best project ever. So we see, if you think about it like some institution, like huge building, like a bank or whatever, then you cannot do anything. Maybe you can have some proper pitch and then you have some luck and so on. But people are working there, people are investing there, and everything is about the connection. So also, do they share your vision? What is the vision of that VC? What was it at the beginning? Why are they investing? What are the other companies they are investing in? So it's not that you hope that VC will choose you. You talk with all of them, you take them in consideration, and then you ask yourself, do I want to work with these people? You test them, they test you, they give you some homework, you give them some homework. So it's partnership. And you just don't want to jump into bed with everyone you meet. It's flirting.
So that's why a lot of investors who are coming to visit you here in Bird going out with the full bag of CIDRANI now.
Very cool.
Of course, but they need to test, you know.
They need to try it out. Yeah, but I just
You
also,
have to make them addicted to something.
Yeah.
yeah, I also wanted to say, one important lesson from all of this is that all relationships take time to build. So if you need to raise an investment, then you don't start doing it a month before. You know, you take your time, you prepare. You also do your background research on this VC. Who did they invest in? Perhaps go and talk to those startups. You know, what was their process like? What do they think? What was that one single thing that was really important to this VC fund? Are they happy? You know, are they satisfied with the deal? Find out as many information as possible.
But sometimes we also spoke with some of the companies that some of VCs we know invested in, and they told us they don't want to follow up to invest more. We don't have any support. But then when we looked from the outside, what did they do? They didn't do anything. They didn't have the results. So you need to listen, but you also need to be objective and see the other side. Why somebody doesn't want to invest if it's such a good and great opportunity?
Yeah, and we are going back actually to ourselves. Again, we were presenting something that we thought was a great idea, but our investor was patient enough to see whether this was really a great idea. And you know, whatever investor, whatever VC or whoever it's going to be, there's always something that needs to show some traction, either some previous project that you worked on, or you know, you build an MVP. It needs to start from something. You know, it's just something that shows the intention and the first steps and the direction, and something that follows your vision.
Nice, very nice. Is there any more question? You're doing a great job. Yeah, I see, man. I believe they're doing a great job.
Thank you, Simon.
Yeah. So I think we can wrap this up. Thank you for sharing your story. Some of this is very new to me, and we're working very closely this last month. Thank you for coming here to this world-class incubator, and you're going to make it even better. So yeah, we are having a lot of great stuff in front of us, and I think that in the few months we're going to make another more successful meetup with more successful story about you. So yeah, good luck and stay persistent. No, and thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
Bye. Oh,
Yeah.
that was it.